Welcome to Changing the Channel with Joe Garner, a show about shifting our individual and collective beliefs on what is possible for the future of humanity. As our understanding of how our reality continues to shift, we are at a point of reunification between science and spirituality. What does the world look like when we break free from the generational trauma that has kept most humans playing small for thousands of years and step into our full power as the co-creators of this reality? I always ask that you keep an open mind with this podcast. Ask yourself what resonates with my truth at this time and what does not. Respect your intuition, but see if you can get through the whole show because there might be that little nugget buried deep in the conversation that unlocks something for you. Welcome everyone back to Changing the Channel. I've got a wonderful human being here, Mike DeShazer. He is the executive director and lead developer at Giving Desk. So welcome to the show, Mike.
Hey, thanks for having me, Joe. It's great to be here.
Absolutely. So Giving Desk, for those who don't know, is a company that is bringing bots and humans together to live harmoniously. Give us a little background. What was the journey to Giving Desk for you, and what is the mission of the company?
So, Giving Desk was started as a way of helping people, and we started our work mostly in Kenya and Nigeria. We were founded in South Korea, and where I was living at the time in 2021. We're now headquartered based in Dubai, United Arab Emirates. Where I am now, where it's a little late here. I know you're in Texas, so it's daytime. And happy Halloween, everyone, for everyone out there. But we essentially our biggest project right now is leveraging AI that we built called GiveFlag and building infrastructure in Rwanda. And we have a farm there that we are essentially working to allow AI to play a new role in how real estate and infrastructure is developed. So we're working right now on a simple water and electricity project, but our AI-based tooling is actually available for everyone. And it basically allows you to upload knowledge via research papers, books, other things, kind of custom tailor the knowledge base that you want, and then talk to a number of AI personas who have all different personalities, who come from different backgrounds, who have different personas, traits, different religions, different life views, different educational backgrounds, different genders, and as opposed to kind of talking to one kind of singular AI who's kind of supposed to be kind of just a big, just all in one. It's several different perspectives that are balancing each other. Some are more quantitative, some are more, soft skills, and having them analyze these files and this knowledge base and have a conversation like we're having, that bouncing ideas coming from different places in order to do something interesting. But we're essentially taking that intelligence, not just kind of, being like an AI company that's saying, hey, we're selling a subscription service. While we do have a subscription service, our core business is about taking that AI and enhancing it through real world experiences and from the very beginning, helping people. So our focus is on helping people in emerging markets. And so that's a long answer, but I went to my first few, developing countries back in 2020 or 2000 and I want to say 2012. Started like Dominican Republic and Colombia, and then kind of it migrated into, Thailand, Vietnam, India, and then into Morocco, Kenya, and just further around the global South, and I felt there was a calling there, and also in the agricultural sector, and my background's in technology, and it all kind of came together. So that's what Giving Desk is. It's about giving to people and working with people who give, and creating an ecosystem of giving that works using AI, but in a practical way that is sustainable. That's not just like philanthropy. It's actual, it's sustainable growth that works, starting from where we draw our sustenance: food, infrastructure,
Right.
food and energy. Energy is, food and energy. That's what we're all about, using AI for that.
Finally, a place for listeners to gather and share. Join the Ascension Update Substack for messages and updates from our brothers and sisters helping with the Ascension, articles on the future of humanity, and a Q&A where you can ask my guides anything you would like. This is the hub for everything Ascension related. Click the link in the show notes or go to joegarner.substack.com to stay at the leading edge of this movement. And now, back to the show. Yeah, that's definitely a focus, I think, on the world level, is energy and food. Those are the two seemingly unsustainable things that we are doing in humanity, and we need help. We need people that are thinking outside of the box, not just trying to solve the problem with the same thinking that got us into this problem, but coming up with new solutions. And I know AI, I've read a couple articles where AI is getting to the point where it's almost, they're calling it like an alien thinking, something that's so different from what most humans can think up that it looks like it's an alien thought process, and that's an interesting thing to see on the horizon of AI, is problem solving from just a completely different understanding than what one or two or 10 or even 100 humans can do. So, and it's very interesting. I love the perspective that you are using AI generated backgrounds to bounce ideas off of each other, work together. And my assumption is that that creates a little bit more sustainability in the solutions that it's coming to, instead of just solutions for the broadest base. You can actually kind of tailor it to certain specific areas and be able to hopefully do a lot of the digging without needing to have all these humans involved, right?
Well, yeah, of course, and as you know, humans will always need to be involved, but the ecosystem of us working together is the magic spot.
Yeah. Now you mentioned that it's for helping people. Go into that a little bit more. Like what ways are you helping people using AI?
Well, so our first farm is in Yamata. It's about an hour outside of Kigali in Rwanda. It's uh, our first step is bringing in water and electricity to this particular plot, this particular area, and then scaling that out. So there's still large swaths of villages and other areas that just don't have water, electricity access. So you'll see people just like carrying like lots of water, like carrying water from one place to the other. And as far as electricity, that really stifles what you can do, especially in agricultural spaces around, using IoT devices, you're monitoring. I mean, heck, your phone charging, like, so,
Right.
cause you can use apps. I mean, I think ChatGPT just announced today, and I used it. It was amazing. You can just hold up your phone and you can just scan it, like any image, and you can know exactly what you're looking at. Right. So, I was on a boat earlier today. Me and a buddy were doing a bit of sailing, and he's Polish, and he learned how to sail in Poland. And so he's a really good sailor, but he can't remember, oh, the English word for that thing. What is it? Like, yeah, what's the English word for that knot? Oh,
Mhm.
oh, and so you can scan now and just that's that. And so I do the same thing with my plants, right? Or with, me and my wife, we have a little garden, and we want to know about the health of the plants, and we use these apps where you can just scan, and it's so amazing because it's so efficient. You be like, oh, this needs this. Oh, it might be, it's lacking these nutrients, right? Oh, this plant, this temperature, or needs more wind, or this needs more of that. So if you can't charge your phone in a certain area, it really makes it inefficient for kind of going around and just literally scanning all the I mean, that's a simple example, right? I mean, of course you could charge it, bring it out, have a mobile charger, but it's a lot easier when you have electricity right there, or a place to kind of charge things. And it makes it a lot better when you have more predictable irrigation systems and water management. And so I come from a software background, but we're using artificial intelligence to kind of take all of these areas. It's planning out. We put a YouTube video out recently where we do a live version of, we're just walking through how we're using GiveFlag AI to help us do the infrastructure development. We talked to an infrastructure company today that does a water and electricity construction, feasibility analysis, et cetera, in Rwanda, one of the most prominent companies in the space there. And, they sent us some proposals, and we ran it through our GiveFlag platform, and it, not knowing a whole lot, about infrastructure development, it kind of pulled out certain things like, well, this document doesn't talk about what happens when you have, overrun time or unpredicted expenses.
All right. Sorry about that. We had a little technical issue, but getting back into it, we were kind of discussing AI and its role in basically the future, how it's capable of changing how we do things, and what Giving Desk is doing to help people use AI and leverage it to their advantage. So kind of get back into that.
Sure. So, with regards to infrastructure development, we're working with this, large infrastructure construction company in Rwanda, and we get proposals over, and we just take those proposals, we upload them to GiveFlag AI, which is our tool, of course, and we get red, yellow, and green flags. Those red, yellow, and green flags kind of point out all of the things that you might want to look at, like we said, cost overruns, um, things that just happen, different regulations, how to deal with these. So these are really important questions, and also really great opportunities. So the green flags are opportunities for enhancement for our particular project, and we just send that over to them. But it's not like when a human does it, it's kind of like, well, what's the intention here? Are they kind of trying to question our integrity, or are they trying to question our process? Or that can kind of be when you get it from a certain person or from a certain group, or like if a lawyer reaches out to you and is like, are you compliant with this particular thing? You're kind of like, oh, do we have to get legal to look at this? Something, or versus an AI doing it, where it's analyzed your proposal, it's taken like the latest books and regulations and everything, kind of work through your document. It kind of knows the other standards in it. And now you're kind of like, oh, this is an objective, thing. And it just kind of helps the process along, because, infrastructure, construction is, especially in emerging markets, it can be very complicated. I mean, even in developed markets, it's complicated. There's so many regulations. You got to get so many approvals from so many agencies, to know who you got to contact to get that approval. whether it be at the county level, the state level, the national level, this agency, that agency. Then you have on top of that, I made a joke. It's like we went into agriculture with AI and somehow we ended up in politics,
Hmm.
because all of a sudden, there's all these agencies and there's all these, people who have to approve things. And then there's all these like lawyers, who kind of are gatekeepers. And then you have all of these just and then you have then of course you have the engineering side. Then you have the political side with the associations, because there's this co-op over here, who's operating and they want to, know who's their neighbor, right? And, do you join that association or how do you work that out? And there's a larger kind of associations that need to know things. That's a more social element. And then there's just the general community, the people, the real stakeholders, when you're digging and you're bringing in electricity and water, there's still, we all hate construction outside next door to us, right? Making noise, right? So you can't just kind of go in, just do a project. You need buy-in just because you have the approvals. And so it's just been a fascinating process, but AI is able to kind of anticipate a lot of those areas. And when done right, it can work through. And so when it comes to infrastructure development, when it comes to construction, when it comes to, and then the actual, when you have the infrastructure built in and you start putting the IoT devices on the properties, you start, maximizing your efficiency and you create a situation where the locally produced food is cheaper, better, faster, as far as the harvest times and things like that, based on the seed selection, based on the, the conditions and the methods that are advised by, by smart, efficient farming AI that can kind of, help with that. Like we said earlier with the plant, just being able to scan a plant, now with images and just know it's like this plant, this is what's wrong. It needs this. You should put this. It needs to do that. The soil, this is the problem. So this is this type of soil. And for this type of soil, here's how much water, here's the timing on it. Here's the nutrition, here are all these facts. Here's the pH level you need for this crop, for this harvest, for this season. Here's the market information. So you're giving so much power to farmers to really be effective and efficient. I'm talking double, triple, right? Imagine that, right?
Right.
And then also imagine just the not just the harvest, but the certainty, and then the whole ecosystem around it, right? You got to build a lot of these places, roads, dirt roads, right? Makes it really difficult for large trucks. 18-wheeler can't go down a dirt road up a mountain. That's not up to code, right? So you need to develop that infrastructure, but it needs to be in partnership with the local community and the stakeholders. And places like Rwanda are really amazing as far as they're forward looking and forward thinking. So it's that's the big, it's a lot, but it's basically, it's AI for farming, but farming comes, to do it the best way, comes with infrastructure development. It comes with energy management. It comes with just, coordinating your distribution and your silo of holding the food, and the marketing of it and the partnerships and the co-ops and all that. But that's something
Now,
that can be made more efficient.
do you see the biggest upside of AI as just increasing the speed at which we're able to develop these places, or are there other things that you're seeing within AI? And do you see any downsides or negatives to using AI?
Well, just like anything, and everyone always says this, it's for every yin and yang,
Mhm.
if if you're really good at one thing, that means you're really weak in something else. It's just the balance of life. And so it's really about experimenting. And I think the key is around how we collaborate together and work together, and the amount of cooperation that we're able to actually execute on. That's the key that's going to determine how well artificial intelligence benefits society. Like, we have to focus on how this technology is not just going to benefit humans, but also AI. Just like when you work with a human or any energy force, right? I know we're into that, and it's such a great to be in a space where we can. But the thing is that we really, it has to be mutual. And I think one of the biggest problems is humans. We're just always saying, well, what about us? What's going to happen? What are we going to do? And we're so defensive and whatever. But I know it sounds counterintuitive, but what about the AI?
Right. It's becoming intelligent, and there's certainly arguments of, the Rorschach, or not Rorschach, the idea of testing its intelligence. Is it truly a sentient, intelligent being, or is it just, again, just really good at taking inputs and exporting outputs? And that's always kind of that argument within the AI world. The Turing test. Is it intelligent, or is it just able to do very specific tasks really quickly? And it does seem to be that we're getting to a point where AI does start to come up with new ideas. It starts to become creative, and yeah, we have to treat it with respect. Treat it with the respect that we would give any other sentient being. If we were dealing with extraterrestrials or angels or something like that, you would give respect to the intelligence of that being, and we're creating this intelligent. And like you said, I mean, we've got two choices. We can either respect it and bring it into this world and treat it as an equal, or we can treat it as something less than. And that's probably where you get into these, dystopic futures where, humans are just abusing AI and abusing robots, and it creates this tension between the robots and the humans, which I think, again, my perspective is we're moving towards this harmonious existence on the planet, and not only harmony within the humans, but harmony with everything else, all other life forms on the planet. And if we're going to consider AI a life form, then we have to live in harmony with that specific life force as well, that energy. And yeah, it's going to be interesting to see this interplay between, humans and AI. And humans do tend to abuse a new technology or take it to its extreme within the first couple of years, and then we typically kind of walk it back, and we learn our lessons.
Yes.
But yeah, what do you see as the biggest positives for AI right now? Like, in today's world as it is right now, what can people use AI for right now that helps them in their day to day?
I mean, so many things, like I mentioned earlier, with the new feature with ChatGPT, the ability to take a picture of anything, upload it, and see exactly what's in that photo. That's, I mean,
That's huge.
that's huge. Like, what's this called? Like plants. What's going on with this plant? What plant is this? What do I need to do with it? Does it look healthy? Here's a picture the next day. What do you think? How do we do? I think for indoor farming, vertical farming, it's incredibly, I'm very oriented in that direction. So, a lot of the thinking is there. But yes, I think the image recognition, And the power of that is one of the coolest things now. Absolutely amazing.
Yeah. Excellent. Excellent. Any other anything else you want to share about what Giving Desk is doing and how people can find Giving Desk and learn a little bit more about what's going on there?
Sure. So givingdesk.org is the website. It's just, we're just trying to make the world a better place. That's what we're here to do. Try to figure out how to do that sustainably. We're always looking for new partners to collaborate with and find ways that we can cooperate and develop, sustainable growth across not just, emerging markets where we're focused. I mean, we're focused there, but there's so much opportunity globally. As you mentioned kind of previously, you know, we we're all connected. We're all, that's and so we all have a responsibility to one another to help one another, right? And we need more of that. Um, you know, we need more of a spirit of giving, mutual giving. And yeah. So we love to work with people and talk with people who have that spirit, who are trying to figure out ways to do that. And so we use our AI tools. They're constantly improving to help figure that out. And we love to just, people who really want to help people in a sustainable way, not philanthropy. That's not sustainable. You know, teach a man how to fish, right? As they say. And, we believe in doing that, making real measurable change, and impactful change that actually benefits the person who's giving, like in a real way, not just which is enough sometimes. It's that really wonderful feeling of gave and it was great and I helped somebody, but thinking I gave, I helped someone, and like my family and I materially also are benefiting from that. And there are other families that are materially benefiting from that. Not that zero sum game nonsense of that greater than the sum of our parts. Phenomenal.
Yeah, yeah, and that's incredible that AI can assist with people as we make this transition and as certain humans open up to this idea that we are all interconnected. That what AI does is it kind of levels the playing field. It levels the playing field for those who are making a much better world possible. And, there's an argument to be made that the people that are in power right now are not necessarily interested in the best for all of humanity, at least what they're outwardly saying. Groups like the WEF, the UN, the US government, they have a good marketing campaign, but their actions seem to speak louder than their words. And it does seem to be leading towards a less fruitful, less harmonious humanity. So as people, as younger generations start to awaken to this idea that we're all interconnected, that we all have a duty to each other to help one another in whatever way we can, that those companies, those people can use this technology to further their ability 10, 20, 30 times more efficiently than ever in any time in humanity. And that is the positive that I want to take out of AI, is that it allows people who are making true change in the world to have a much bigger impact and effect on that. And then it comes down to the consciousness of each individual. So are you going to choose a company that is creating a better harmonious humanity, or are you going to choose a company that has the lowest dollar amount, that is, using all of these tools to basically increase their market share and market value, versus somebody who's using these tools who is helping farmers in Rwanda, who is building small communities and helping them achieve what is possible with the current technology. And again, that comes down to each individual. What do you want to support on you're voting with your dollar basically. So it's going to be an interesting time for humanity as we get into it and we continue to have this exponential change and shift and increase in our ability as humans and through technology on how we create this thing we call humanity, this super organism.
Yes, it will be. What's your take? Do you think we're gonna end up in the more dystopian? Obviously, you're. I can tell you're optimistic about the fact that we're going to cooperate more, and I agree with that perspective. But what do you? I mean, what's your prediction on the
Yeah.
more specific realm? Like, where do you see 2035 looking like?
Yeah, I think, it all depends on, so from my perspective, each one of us is playing this individual video game. So it all depends on what you believe. So if you believe we're moving towards a dystopian future, your your consciousness will move towards that and experience that dystopian future. If you choose to move towards a solar punk future where we kind of have this harmonious symbiotic relationship between technology and humanity, then that's the future that you're going to experience. So each person, every single person gets to decide the future that they want to live in. And if you aren't choosing your future, you're allowing other people to choose that future for you. So if you want to live in that futuristic world where we're a harmonious existence, start believing that you're moving towards that, and that is what you're going to experience. But otherwise, in my future, I can kind of tell you what I believe, and that's that you'll start to see this augmentation of our jobs through AI, where AI is doing, all the mundane aspects of the job that we do. And companies are still going to pay that individual for the amount of work that they're doing, whether they use AI or they don't use AI. So if you choose to adopt the AI model and you benefit from the exponential amount of work you can do, you can leverage that to, play a larger role in a company. And, companies are still planning on paying. I would hope companies would plan on paying out for the amount of work that was done by that individual. And again, you don't have, it's not like you have to pay AI necessarily. Each individual will have to pay a licensing fee to use the AI, but companies aren't going to be paying AI. And yeah, from my perspective, the companies that are having a human first approach, those are the companies that are going to benefit. Those are the companies that are going to that are going to grow at exponential rates, that are going to continue to take on market share. And companies that are using AI only to pad their bottom line, to increase profits without increasing anything else. Those companies are going to start to see smaller and smaller market share until hopefully they get the picture and they say, all right, let's change this. Let's go human first. Um, let's start to pay our people a much more fair share of what they're doing. Because that's the only way we're going to continue to gain customers and have customers, because I think people are going to start to see very quickly, if AI is taking all the jobs, well, that leads us down a road that I don't think a lot of people necessarily want to go.
Mm. Well, that's I like and I agree with what you said um, about how what we believe is where we go, and also, of course, yes, not going to be so fun if there aren't any jobs left as well. So I agree with you on these things, and yes, I mean it's gonna be quite fascinating. I've actually learned quite a bit, and have been, I guess you could say, my energy life force as we discuss it, is definitely enhanced from your words and
Oh,
your energy, man. And this has been a phenomenal discussion. And I hope we can actually continue this discussion. Yeah, it's great. I love what you're doing, and I think we need more of this in the world.
yeah, I
Like
appreciate that. I'm having a good time doing it.
we really do.
So cool. Well, yeah, let's stay in touch. I'll make sure I include all of your links in the show notes. So if you want to work with Mike and the Giving Desk, check out their website, see what they're doing. If you think you can assist, certainly reach out to Mike and say, hey, here's what I can offer. So it takes the whole world to make this shift in consciousness, and each one of us is playing our unique individual roles. So I appreciate you coming on the show, Mike. Like I said, let's stay in touch, and we'll go from there.
Thank you so much for inviting me, and I look forward to collaborating more in the future. And thank you so much for hosting this phenomenal podcast.
Absolutely. Thank you again for listening to Changing the Channel with Joe Garner. If you enjoyed the show, please follow the podcast, hit the bell to know when a new show comes out, share with a friend, and rate us on whatever platform you're tuning in from. It helps get these messages out to more people to create the collective shift in reality we are here to experience. Make sure you interact with the Q&A and poll sections of the show so I can continue to provide content you enjoy. Finally, check out my website in the show notes to become a VIP of Changing the Channel and join the shift that is happening.